Hi, my name is Dr. Chris Boyd, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity to interview with Stride. I think I did things a little bit backwards. I saw the interview, so I did it. And then, of course, when I came to question number 8, it said to upload my video, which I wasn't exactly sure which job I was applying for. I was looking at the physical education job or the Indiana U.S. history job. So I decided to create a lesson in the one that would be more challenging for me so that you could really sort of see my skills and test my ability. So I chose a lesson on September 11th, which is absolutely apropos because that is today. And of course, the whole country is very involved in thinking and reflecting on this very important date. So I would start off, of course, with my students, letting them know that we are involved with standard number 8. We're continuing on. Standard number 8, definitely on the high school level, talks about examining the political, economical, social, and cultural development of the United States through 9/11. So then you sort of segue into Standard 9, which is everything post 9/11. The objective for today will be that students will demonstrate an understanding of what happened on September 11th and how it has impacted our country today. I would start off with this story because of the limited time factor. I can let you see this, of course. A lot of the vocabulary words are underlined here that we're going to be focusing on a little bit later. But I would start off reading this, and then we would go right into the video. So I'm going to just sort of bring that up. This video, of course, is 9/11 as events unfold. As we watch this video, I want you to be very mindful and reflective of the events that happened on 9/11. So sidebar, we would watch this together, or it would be available for them to do. And then we would come back to the discussion after a moment of silence. This video ends very well with absolute silence, and I would ask at that time that we continue with a moment of silence. Then I would read this quote from Sandy Dahl, and then we would move forward into segue into the next assignment, which would be now. I would like all of you to go to Newsela. And the next assignment that we're going to be doing is doing some readings and then share out with a four-corner experience. So the instructions would be very clear. I love Newsela and I love student choice, as you learned from my interview. So we have here the text sets, remembering 9/11, and many additional articles. I'm going to let the students choose what article they want to read and then share out with. Newsela, again, you choose, you have your Lexile level plugged into this, so I can accommodate all of my students with their reading levels. Newsela is closed caption. It also has an opportunity for you to be able to read, have it be read to you. And we also have Spanish-speaking articles as well. So Newsela is a great choice. So the instructions for this would really be pretty clear. And I want to go over those now, just like how I would my students. You're going to choose any article, and then you're going to be sure to read for understanding, because you're going to be sharing out the important points from your article and the usage of any vocabulary that you come across. I have in the lesson printed out for you these vocabulary words. So as you're reading, I want you to make note of any vocabulary word that you come across. As a matter of fact, as you're reading, you might want to get out your pencil or paper or take notes here on the computer so that you will be able to remember the highlighted points of your article. When you come to a vocabulary word, there are two ways to really determine what the definition is. One way you can do that, of course, is by looking at the context, clues. How does it fit into the sentence structure, the paragraph? And of course, we all know if you still don't know the definition or understand, you can always look it up, can't you? So with that being said, I want you, of course, to be very focused on these vocabulary words. After we finish, and I'm going to give you plenty of time to choose an article, look it over, make any notes that you wish to take, and then we're going to be dividing up into 4 different stations. So Elijah, Ariana, Brianna, and Cohen are going to be leading the discussion at each 4 corner. Okay, they're going to be guiding you with questions about, tell me the name of the article you read. What did you take away? What are the high points of the article? And what were the vocabulary words that were in your article? Sidebar, if I were doing this on the computer, of course, I would create breakout rooms in my hybrid class. And each one of these high ability students would be in charge of a room where that live discussion would take place. And then we would rotate. Of course, these people would be in charge of their own breakout room, but I would rotate the students as to where they would go next. If it was totally asynchronous, then I would have a discussion board where these students would be the topic headers and everybody would be in discussion underneath them. At the completion of the rotation, everybody's going to return to their seats, and then we're going to independently watch the next video, which really segues into more critical thinking. And that, of course, is 9/11, 20 years later. This is where you as a student, you're going to become much more reflective and think about, wow, those were the events of 9/11. How have they influenced us? How have we changed our culture because of this event? So, after this video is independently watched, they would then do a turn and talk with a partner. The partner and them would be writing down everything that they could think of that has changed in our culture since 9/11. So it's a real collaborative event. Again, that could be done in a breakout room online or through the discussion board where they're going to be making this list. Then we might pad it, post it so that everybody could see all these different ideas. This is really going to spark how they're assessed with their interpretation. How did it change? You know, what policies were changed in our country? But again, I'm guiding and fostering this with others. Okay, so then after that, turn and talk, we're going to really get more into an assessment piece with Nearpod. It's called Patriot Day. It's remembering September 11th. This is where they're really going to share on their own their opinions, their thoughts. I love Nearpod. I would make it easy. I would just have the class code and everybody could do this. I could use this as a graded assessment or just to figure out if they're really understanding what exactly happened and what are the consequences that came from it. Again, all folding into the assessment of do they really understand. And again, I love Nearpod. You know, it can read it to it so that students all along the way are being supported no matter where they are. I've also created a Kahoot where that will challenge them independently on the vocabulary, matching and learning. I probably would not take a grade on that. It would just be another enrichment piece where they would be focusing on that vocabulary and how it fits into this September 11th. Finally, this would segue into the independent work. For my high ability or my proficient, I would have some deeper dive, really for anybody. I don't want to limit anybody on this, but the deeper dives, I have the 9/11 National Museum virtual tour. So that's another thing that they could be focused on if they wanted. I have several other articles that they could dive into. And again, all this would be encompassed under a deeper dive. Moving along then to the final and last, again, I'm into project-based learning. I want students to have choice to prove to me what they really know and understand. So here, as I see I'm running out of time, are just some of the options. I am definitely into the Talk to Me. These are just some ideas. I want them to really create their own way that they can prove to me that they have full understanding. With that being said, I would be having one-on-one private talks with all my not proficient students to give them more guidance, my IEP students. What supports do you need? How can I help you? My proficient students, I want to encourage them to do rigor, step out of the comfort zone, do a little risk here. What would grow them a little bit more? These are all private conversations actually with all of my students, but there would be more in depth with my non-proficients and my IEP students. Finally, after all these projects are done, I would create a gallery walk here online so that everybody could view all the different projects that were created by each student. You see that my time is really up, so again, I appreciate the opportunity to give a quick glance at everything that I would want to do. I have other lessons that are created in physical education because I have taught that for Indiana Online. So I have a multitude of resources that are pre-created. And of course, when we were in COVID, I was teaching physical education online. So I have lots and lots of material there. So again, I so appreciate this opportunity, and I hope to be hearing from you soon. Thank you so very much.